Hello and welcome here to another edition of Signing Day Live as we get a chance to catch up with multiple members of Nebraska's 2022 signing class, also allowing the fans an opportunity to chime in and interact with some of these future Husker players. And yesterday we did our very first one. Pleased to welcome in defensive back from Hutchinson Community College, DeShon Singleton here, joining us on this edition of Signing Day Live. And before we get to that, this interview is brought to you by Sandhills Global, which if you have equipment to sell it at auctiontime.com, powered by a. Yeah, Sean, first of all, congratulations on signing with Nebraska. I know you got to be really anxious now to get up here in the next month.
Yeah, thank you.
We had talk about just your path. You grew up in Louisiana, right outside Baton Rouge. You end up going to Hutchinson Community College as a full qualifier, and have been there just a few months. I mean, how did you make that decision to go from high school to JUCO like you did, and how much did that pay off for you?
Well, I didn't really have a choice. Like when I graduated high school, I didn't have any offers out of high school. Very underrated, and so I had a childhood friend who was up there at Hutch, and he told me to come up there, and so I went up there, and Coach Mo Gray he took me under his wing, and he taught me the ropes because I played quarterback before, and he just said, I think this defensive side of the ball is gonna be best for me. And he told me we're gonna try to get you out of here in 6 months. And that's what we did.
And JUCO life is tough. I mean, when you think about just even being there 6 months, I mean, how hard did you have to work? I think a lot of people watching have seen Last Chance U, or at least bits and pieces of it. I mean, it's no picnic, obviously playing junior college football, and it takes a lot of focus and a lot of work.
Right. It was hard the first few months for me because I'm just a freshman, 18 years old, coming into JUCO, and everything new to me, and I'm by myself, like 13 hours away from home. So I got myself around good people. They showed me the ropes through that, and it came easy to me.
Now, did you come in and win a job right away? I mean, how long did it kind of take as a newcomer into an established JUCO program to kind of win the job and earn respect that came in that didn't have any offers? I mean, obviously there were probably guys on your team that might have had offers that you had to beat out to get on the field.
Yeah, it took me like I'd say three games in, and then I finally got a starting spot up in the lineup. They had plenty of guys in front of me, older guys too, like Marquise Gilbert. He's going to Auburn right now. They had a lot of other guys. So I mean, I finally got their respect. All us cool. So
Now, how did Nebraska find out about you? I mean, you talk about just getting notice in the recruiting process. Walk us through the first contact that you had with Nebraska and how that all started.
well, I had got hit up on Twitter. That's my first contact with them, and then um after that, I had Coach Fisher had hit me up on my phone, and that's how we hit it off. Then
And then from once they started kind of talking to you, how quickly did that offer come your way?
about a week. It was about a week because he had came to one of the games, and he offered me that day. So it was a week.
Yeah, I remember the story I heard yesterday of Coach Fisher drove down to Hutch. I mean, he's a Florida guy, made the road drive down there. I'm sure at that point you kind of knew, like, hey, this is my opportunity. I got to really show Coach Fisher what I can do.
Yeah. And when he drove down there, it really meant a lot to me because he took out his time just to come see me, play. And going to Hutch, that ain't no easy job. Like you going in the middle of nowhere, and, so that meant a lot to me.
As we're talking here with DeShon Singleton, if you have a question, make sure you check out our comments. We'll get to the questions here. As a lot of Husker fans, obviously curious about your path, your story. Got a couple in the queue already, and we'll get to more questions here as we move forward with things. But yeah, what did Fisher say to you? I mean, did he say like right away, like, I think we got something here we can work with?
Yeah, he was like he loved my technique on what I put on film. He was like, I'm young, I got all these years left, so I'm gonna still have time with him, and I got opportunity to play right away. Also, because we have safeties leaving, seniors, and one's going to the draft, and that's basically how what me and him talked about. And he was like, I'm gonna love it in Lincoln once he get me on that visit. So
Yeah, and that was one of the questions we have here: safety or corner. So we assume that you're going to move into or try to play a safety role at Nebraska. Is that right?
right.
But you can play corner. I mean, are you able to play other positions if you had to?
Yeah. Because at Hutch I was playing corner. Like he put me at corner, and then something happened to our starting safety, and so he moved me to safety, free safety, because I know all the positions on the field. Like I knew the playbook, so I really started playing real deal safety to like near the end of the season.
How'd your season go? How did Hutchinson play this year?
We went good. We went 8-2. We won conference championship, but we didn't. We got ranked nationally at number 5, and only 4 teams would go to the national, so we missed out on that.
So did you guys go to a bowl game, or did you guys already play your bowl game?
Yeah, we played our bowl game, so we won that too against Hines Community College. Mississippi. We won.
As we're talking here with DeShon Singleton and his future at Nebraska, you came up here for your official visit. Then was it the week before signing day? You were in Lincoln essentially about a week ago, right?
I came there December 7th, so about a week ago.
What had you ever stepped foot in the state of Nebraska? Did you know much about Nebraska before you came
No,
up here on that trip?
no, never stepped a foot outside Nebraska. When I went to Kansas, that was my first time in Kansas, so it's like, yeah.
What was so you probably had a thought of what Nebraska was, and then you came here. What was your thought ahead of
Man,
time, and then what did you
I
think
thought
after?
I thought Nebraska was gonna be like in the middle of nowhere, like nothing over there. But I came there. It's a big old city. So from where I'm from, you know, our city ain't that big. It probably got 4,000 people. Man, I went to Lincoln. I was like, wow, just amazing.
Yeah, you probably thought we were surrounded by farms around this on the campus here, I'm sure.
Right.
What about Hutchinson? I mean, what's the town of Hutch? I mean, Hutch is probably a smaller community, though, isn't it?
Yeah, it's small. It's like in the middle of nowhere, like straight fields around you. But it's a little town.
You guys have probably is it a Walmart town? As they had a Walmart and a couple other things like that, and that's about it.
Yeah. They had a Walmart. They had a Chick-fil-A. I mean,
Oh, they had a Chick-fil-A. That's stepping
yeah,
it up.
that's up there. It's pretty. It's okay for a JUCO.
Now, you probably watched Last Chance U, didn't you?
Yeah.
Was JUCO life like that, or is that kind of dramatized quite a bit with the way Netflix kind of does that series?
It's a little like that, but it's also a little dramatized a little bit, like but because they focus on the key points about what's bad in JUCO. You have that, but you just got to make what's the good out of the bad.
All right, we're starting to get a number of questions here in the queue, so I'm going to get to some of those questions. First of all, Kyle Ross says hi, DeShon. Tony though chimes in and wants to know, who do you model your game after?
Mm, mm. I say like a Jalen Ramsey, because how aggressive and how versatile he is. So I model my game after that a little bit.
So in high school, you said you didn't have a lot of opportunities. I mean, do you think that was large in part to COVID-19, with coaches not really being able to go out and see you in person and get out to camps and campuses? I mean, what did you kind of attest that you didn't get maybe the attention that you wanted out of high school?
I mean, it was that because of COVID and stuff like that. But I never regretted going JUCO. So I mean, yeah, it was COVID. COVID went on. Yeah, I was probably in a small town where nobody knew about the school. But I don't regret it.
So you mentioned visiting Nebraska over the entire recruiting process, high school and all and beyond. How many trips with COVID and other things, camps, that were you able to take? I mean, was Nebraska one of the few trips you made over the last 3 years?
Yeah, Nebraska was the third trip I made. I went to Kansas, Kansas State, Nebraska. That was only 3 trips I made.
And I take it, did you drive? You probably drove to all these visits, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, because obviously, how far Manhattan's pretty close to Hutch.
Mhm.
So then
It's
at that
about
point,
2 hours.
2 hours. At that point, you probably were like, "Man, I got a lot of to sit," because those teams wanted you pretty bad as well. Is that right?
Mhm.
What was it about Nebraska that kind of separated them from the other teams that you visited?
The people, because when I went on my visit, they took me out to this little burrito spot. It was some type of spot, and they were so cool to me, and it felt like home up there. And I knew Coach Fish. He's a real dude, and he know his DB stuff. So I feel like I could play here and come here.
All right, next question in the chat. Somebody wants to know what was your fastest recorded 40-yard dash time?
I never had my 40 done. Never had it.
Yeah, it's not something every high school does, right? I mean, when you play high school ball, like not every coach, every school does that stuff.
Right.
How big was your high school? Like how many kids were in your graduating class?
30.
30. 30.
Yeah, it was
So
at a 2A school.
so you were one of the smallest 11-man football team. Does like
No,
Louisiana, they're
I didn't
smaller
play
class than that?
football.
What's that?
You talking about? Oh, you said. Oh, I thought you said 8 man. I didn't play no 8 man football.
But you guys were probably, I mean, so it's 2A. Is there even a class smaller than 2A? Is there a 1A?
Yeah, Louisiana is 1A. Then you got Class B, Class C. Yeah, it's a lot smaller.
So it was a rural community then.
Yeah.
Was it like a agriculture? I mean, what kind of, I mean, the town you grew up in, I mean, what was the dynamics of the community?
Say it again.
Like the community you grew up in, was it, what was there like farming work out there? I mean, what type of, what brought people to your town that you grew up in?
I mean, they got a couple farming people, but it ain't nothing too serious. I admit it ain't nothing. It ain't nothing.
And then, okay, next question here. Kyle just wants to tell you, you're going to really enjoy the atmosphere at Memorial Stadium. Obviously, you haven't been able to see a home game here. I'm sure that's something. But by the way, your first game, I'm sure you already know this, is going to be in Dublin, Ireland.
That's crazy. I,
Have they
I,
told?
I
Did they
listen.
tell you that already?
Yes, that's
Uh,
crazy.
let's see. Next question in the chats. When are you going to be at Nebraska, and do you know who you're going to room with yet?
I don't know who I'm gonna room with, but I know I'm gonna be in Nebraska probably January 10th. I think.
Are you back? Are you still in Kansas right now, or are you in
Yeah,
Louisiana already? What's that?
I'm in
Uh,
Louisiana.
Louisiana. Okay. Um, all right. Next question here in the chat. Um, Chad, just wanted to tell you, welcome. Looking forward to seeing you flourish here in the good life. Have the coaches, and then another question here, have the coaches talked to you about playing some special teams? Is that something that you want to do right away as well?
Yeah, they talked to me about special teams. Yeah.
Let's see. Next question, more of a comment. Just remember, Husker fans love effort. Give all your effort all the time, and the fans will relish watching you. That was from Chad. Kyle, this was asked yesterday as well. Do you know what a runza is? Are you planning on having a runza? It's a food that's at a fast food restaurant in Nebraska.
I don't know what that is. I hope I plan on going though. Now I know about it.
Did you get a steak on your visit? Like, what other kind of food did they take you out on? You sound like you went to Los Muchachos Burritos. Did you get a steak anywhere in town?
Yeah, I got a steak in town. I had got a steak. I don't remember where it was, but it was good.
Who was your host on the trip? Who took you around town?
Miles Forman.
Miles Farmer, and he's from Georgia. So obviously, when you meet guys that are from the South, not necessarily Louisiana, but a lot of Georgia guys. I mean, what do they tell you about living in Nebraska?
Man, they said it's a cool place. Like people out there, they gonna love you. It's a great fan base at Nebraska. You say it's gonna feel like home to you. You ain't gonna want to go back home.
What did you measure? What's your current height and weight?
I'm 6'3", 200.
6'3", 200. So you're a big defensive back.
Yeah.
Uh, did you play other sports? And I mean, being at a small school, I'm guessing you probably had to. I mean, did you play basketball, run track, or do anything else in high school besides football?
Yeah, I played basketball, and I did track like my senior year. My senior year just to have fun, but I did basketball in high school.
Did you put up some pretty good numbers in basketball?
Yeah, I averaged 23 my senior year. Averaged 23.
So you probably, I mean, there's probably a time in your life you thought maybe you're going to be a basketball player in college
Right,
as well.
right. Because I was a hooper, so I was like, man, let me go ahead and play basketball. But it
I
was
feel like
it.
everybody wants to be a basketball player until they realize, maybe the path to be a football guy is a lot easier to get there.
Right, 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 right.
Did you ever play some pickup basketball with the guys at Hutchinson that play on the basketball team there?
Nah, I ain't hoop with them. I ain't hoop with them. I ain't get a chance to.
Got another question here in the chat about academics. Obviously, you were a qualifier out of high school, so you'll be able to come. You're only at Hutch for 6 months. What did you like about the academic support at Nebraska? Just kind of learning more about Nebraska's academics and what they had to offer.
Oh, the academic, it was sweet. Like they have people that's gonna help me scheduling my how I'm gonna schedule my classes and how I'm gonna schedule my tutoring and all that stuff. It's so much support in the academic part of it. It's like you can't it's
Oh,
fail. So
what as far as majors go, what are you hoping to major in college?
hello.
Are you there, DeShon? Do we lose you? I think we might have lost connection here. Let's see. DeShon, do we got you anymore? All right, bear with us here through the technology. See if we can get DeShon back. All right, are we back on, DeShon? You got us now?
Yeah, we got on.
All right, yeah, working with technical stuff here. Appreciate you being patient through that. But as we wrap things up here with DeShon Singleton, yeah, the academic support. So, did you get a chance to learn about Nebraska's new facilities when you were out here, and what were your thoughts about what they're building and kind of what things will look like about a year from now?
Oh, yeah, I had they had told me about it, and I was seeing the construction going on, and it's gonna be nice in the next year or two. I think when they finish building, when they
I think about a year from now, or sometime, you know, a full year to 18 months, it should be good to go. I don't know. I mean, they've been able to. Luckily, the weather's been really nice, so I think they've moved pretty quickly. But it's a massive project.
okay, yeah, because I still be here then, so yeah,
Well, hey, Deshaun, just wanted to say thanks again for taking some time with us here as you let Husker fans get a chance to know you and kind of what's ahead.
yes sir, thank you.
Well, appreciate it. And thanks again to DeShon Singleton for joining us here on this edition of Signing Day Live. Once again, thanks to Sandhills Global, our title sponsor of this stream and powered by ABM.